Welcome back. Now, it's been almost 3 months since the death of 21 teenagers at Aviwe Tavern in East London. Parents say they still haven't been told what exactly happened to their children on that fatal night. The tavern owner is expected to appear in court tomorrow for allegedly contravening the Liquor Act. Senior reporter Aviwe Mtila has more on this story, and he joins us now live. Aviwe, of course, we have to understand what these parents might be going through. What are they telling you in terms of having to wait a little more for those test results to finally come back?
Good afternoon, Maseko, and I was speaking to the family members of the 21 teenagers, and they tell me that what pains them the most about the court case that's appearing tomorrow is that while the owner roams the streets of East London, the most painful thing for them is that that very owner's establishment is where the 21 teenagers lost their lives. In fact, I want to catch up now with another family member, Zonke Mkangala, the aunt of Sinotando Mkangala, just to find out how they're doing. Mama, thank you for joining us at ENCA. It's been almost 2 months since you lost the life of Sinotando. How's the family doing?
Good afternoon to everybody who's listening. To be honest with you, we are not doing well at all. We are struggling in terms of surviving, especially accepting the matter with the fact that we have not yet received what is it exactly that has caused our daughter to be no more today. And secondly, in terms of the investigations and the justice side, the owner of the tavern has not yet been held responsible based on the fact that the results are not saying anything in relation to him. And we do not have closure. So that's what matters at the present time.
I just want to just tick some box in terms of what has happened so far. I understand you are very close with the other families as well. You keep in constant conversation. Are all the 21 teens buried at this stage, and are there any private autopsies that have been done separately by the families?
Okay. Yes, all the families has buried their children. I think the last ones were on the 9th of July. But we all depending on the Department of Health in terms of the autopsy results. As parents, we're all depending, because remember, we've got a WhatsApp group where the 21 families are part of the group. So we are communicating there.
You mentioned a bit earlier on that you haven't had the finality of exactly what led to the deaths, but I understand you've been meeting with government, different entities from time to time. Maybe tell us what you're hearing at this stage, and when last did you meet these government officials?
Okay, we met with the government officials, I think it was last week on Friday. And I want you to know that it was not by their choice, but it was because of us. We made a press conference, and then after that press conference, they called us. So at this stage, we do not have the actual cause of death, because they are saying they are still busy with them. They do not have the final results because they were having a problem in terms of lacking enough staff so that they can be able to work on that.
And the results that they have now, what are they saying in terms of what they have now, and when will you get that final conclusive wrap-up of everything to know what caused the deaths of your children?
Okay. The results we are having currently are the results of the autopsy toxicology reports results, where they have tested the alcohol, and then they said the level of the alcohol that the children have taken was not that much to lead to the death of them. And then also the ethanol, which they said to us is the main alcohol that everybody is using. Also with them, the level was not that much that could lead to death. Obviously, the methanol that they have also mentioned, even though know there was this methanol in the alcohol that they took, but also according to them, they cannot say it led to the death of the children. But based on the fact that they are children, they are not adult enough, it could. But then it's what they want to take final report on, because they are saying they need to know in terms of what actually caused them to die on that particular day. So at hand now, they do not have results that could lead to that. And then they have promised us that by the 31st of August, as the families will get our results, and as the department, they will go into each household to give them their written reports, because it's what we have requested from them, that because of these ups and downs that we have been through them, all those meetings, calling us, promising us this, but coming with something else. So now we told them that we are tired of that, because what we want is the closure and to know what exactly led to the death of our children. So they mustn't call us if they do not have what we want. We want them to come to us when they have got what we want. So they promised, because they said they have beefed up their staff, so they promised that in 2 weeks, which is by the 31st of August, we'll be having those results. So we're holding on that. We're still expecting anything can happen. As I have told you, you know them, they say this mustn't do that. Thank you.
31st of August is when you're expecting that finality. Just lastly, tomorrow is a court case where the owner and the co-accused are appearing for contravening the Liquor Act. What are the conversations like with the parents of the teenagers just ahead of that court case, and what can we expect tomorrow from the parents?
I'm not going to beat about the bushes in relation with that. First of all, we are not happy about the fact that the owner has been arrested in relation with the liquor laws breaking. But at the present time, we know that the owner is outside there doing business as usual, and some of his outlets are still operating. So we are asking ourselves, if the liquor board is saying they have taken the license to the owner and the owner is not supposed to be doing the businesses, why is it not looking after that and ensuring that there's no outlet that is open, that is ran by this owner? Remember, he has got a license to sell alcohol, and we know even with our adverts that it is say not for sale for children under the 18 years of age. But this owner had an announcement on the social media calling those young ones to come. So that on its own doesn't not make him liable for what he did. And 21 children died in his premises, in his business, under his control. Is there nothing that could lead him to be behind the bar, so that all the investigations that the government is doing with all those responsible for the investigation, they do with him behind the bars whilst investigating all the other issues that they are investigating? Is that not enough to take and put him behind the bars? Guys, let us be realistic here. We are not saying who did what, but based on the fact that he called the children to come and celebrate their pens down in his premises. And then out of that, a lot of children were there, as we all see in the social media, how packed the thing was. So are the policies of a liquor board allowing him to do that? If not, why nothing has been done about him? Why is he still up and down on the streets, living business as usual? Yet, us as the parents are crying and are devastated, are confused, are living by medication. There are times where you don't even know what you want. You stand up from the lounge thinking that you are going to the kitchen to drink some water, but when you get into the kitchen, you don't even know why you get into that kitchen. You have to go back and sit down and think again. That's the life we're living, yet he's living life as usual. So those are the concerns.
Thank you very much, my condolences once more for the life of Sinotando Mkangala, 17-year-old that was one of the 21 that perished at Enyobeni Tavern. Parents wanting answers and quite disgruntled, Maseko, at the fact that the owner is still roaming the streets of East London while they themselves have lost their children. And that confusion that you heard there is a sentiment that we saw earlier on, speaking to some of these families that are still devastated. One of them actually fell in that press briefing that they held last week Friday, fainted and had to be hospitalized because of not bearing the trauma of losing their children.
Very sad story to this day. Aviwe Mtila live for us in East London with that story. Now let's